unmute me? Two? No, that's right. I'm in stage plate 3, and Sarah is what's in the list? 7? Sarah is 7. Do you want to look at the AV script here or bring it up online? It has the, okay. In fact, I thought I had it up, but just double check and see if it pops up. Yeah. No, no, it should be the AV one. Yeah. Should be the third one from the right. Oh, Tracy, do you want to do a sound check for the musicians now? Or you? I turned up mic 1 there on the stand. If you want to talk back to me. If you can talk into that mic 1, I could hear you.
Okay. Mimi won't be here till 9:45.
Okay.
And then I was assuming that Reverend Paula might be here by now, but are you good with? Do you need to do a sound check? So.
I just turned Jacqueline on.
And Sarah is on the over ear.
7.
Yep. She's
And
on.
so we could do something with Sarah and myself, but I want to make sure that
And we
Jacqueline gets her time, and I'm going to need more time with Sarah and Mimi when Mimi gets here.
okay.
Okay. And but
We're just trying to check all the mics. So
I mean, so far this one sounds good.
5.
I assume this is for Mimi, and
That's for Mimi.
Yeah.
I turned on Jacqueline, who should be on 5.
Hello, hello.
we can try piano with
We're
Sarah.
getting interference.
But I also want to make
May I walk up to, maybe we could get me out of the way. May I walk
Yes.
up to the podium?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So that sounds pretty good. I'm just going to move this and then I'll be right there. So good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware. Is that too loud? It seems louder or more echoey than, and I don't know where I placed this or.
Yeah, I think
So good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware. It sounds sort of intense, but I could be wrong.
right.
Okay, you want to do that?
I wouldn't take her down much, but a little bit.
So she's.
Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware.
Is that?
Is this? And are you seeing how I taped it? Does that look okay? Okay, so I feel comfortable now. So can I just do a little bit more?
Sure.
My name is Jacqueline Karras, and I'm honored to be your worship associate for today's gathering. For visual accessibility, I'm a white woman, short brown hair, glasses, and wearing a striped top with blue, white, and yellow. I invite you to note your arrival here to this sacred place with a deep, slow breath in and out. Breathing a relaxing, deep breath in and out. And continue as you wish. Here at First U, we strive to foster a culture of belonging, welcoming you because of your unique identity and unique spirituality.
You
Okay.
sound great.
Okay, good. Okay. Yay. I felt better as soon as I did the breath. Huh? It's all that stuff is for the self as well as the group.
Elemental. One song with me if you want.
Okay. So Sarah is 7. We can turn off 1.
Mm-hmm.
Got stage plate 3 and the balcony on.
I'll be here, right? No, they know this one. We've done this many times. Should we put this? Just put it here. Yeah. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though the pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love. Was it 3 times in a row that the last measure of the third stanza I put in an eighth note? Or was it just the last verse? If they asked. I think I did that a couple of times. A dotted quarter. Sorry, it's even. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Sure. What's on the paper?
Yeah, like every time I'm like,
Oh.
do I say anything? Do I just sing what everybody else is singing? Do I try to correct it by singing? It's a little awkward every time.
What does he do? Does like the shanti, 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 something? No?
Not even,
Not a problem.
Oh.
structured,
Uh-huh.
but the pickups, everybody has learned and instead of
Oh.
it's like, if I didn't have
Been there, done that, Tracy.
All right, Tracy, are you going to do all three of you now? We'll turn on the mics. What's Sarah,
Higher.
7? Okay.
Sometimes it's easier to get this so it booms over the paper. Are you going to use this, do you think? Or are you just going to hold the music? Okay. I like to boom it down a little bit because then you can hold your music, right? And then you're not really. Yeah. So I could see, then your music is like here. You could also put it, over to the side, like that. Because then. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Let this be a house of peace, of nature and humanity, of sorrow and elation. Let this be our house, a haven for the healing, an open room for questions and our inspiration. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. I think it just goes straight in. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be a house of freedom, guardian of dignity and worth held deep inside us. Let this be our house,
4 times.
I know exactly how it works. And it was looking at that. All right, this is the next to last page.
Mm-hmm.
First time you do the let this be a house.
And then we turn to the last page.
And 3.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace. Let this be your house of yeah, repeat. Oh! There's a repeat. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And 3. Everybody's allowed a brain fart.
Yeah, I'm singing. Let this be a house of peace. Wait. She sings verse 4.
Yeah, this is the last time.
Okay. And she's singing the top. Yep. I forgot.
2, 3.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house.
No, I don't think this mic is on good. Yeah, but it's maybe you need to-
Closer?
Yeah, a little closer.
Okay. So, so you realize at the end of the third page, you're going directly over to the fourth page.
Yeah.
Okay. One more time. Look at it. So you have pages 3 and 4 after the fourth verse. 2, 3.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
One more.
4 times. 4 times.
One.
Repeat. 3.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
All right. Third page 3. 2, 3.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Let this be a house of peace.
Let this be your house of peace.
Cool.
Can we do that one more time?
Sure.
3 and 4. And I know there might be.
Should we do the whole last verse?
Sure. Remember Paula? Not yet? We were gonna do the fourth verse.
Let this be a house of prophecy. The vision of our children be our common theme.
do.
Nice to see you. How's the summer been so far? A little slower. Mm-hmm. Yeah, come on, sit here. I'll sit here.
So you want to turn her mic on now?
Hi, Cinda. Yep, goes over the left ear, doesn't it?
Hi,
You're
Cinda.
okay with me to do this?
I hope I.
You're on because we need to do a sound check.
Okay, well, after the sound check.
I
Do you mind tape or not? We should tape her?
I don't mind tape.
Yeah.
Taped?
Um,
Okay.
I
I
think,
don't mind.
Jacqueline, you're probably the expert at how to do good taping.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So Paula, the question I'm going to have for you is, you have,
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I'm
How
fine.
does it look?
all right, why don't you say a few words?
A few words
Okay.
to check the mic checking. Can everyone hear in the back?
You're looking, is it sounding okay up there, Phil, or do you need some more? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So you have the reflection right before the sermon.
Mhm.
So to change the screen, we'll just need to know when you're done the reflection and when you start the sermon. So you'll
I
just
put the
say,
words.
and now for the sermon or something like that.
Okay, although I did put the words in.
What's that?
I did put the words in the thing at the end of the reflection. It's fine. I'll do it.
Yes, we'll need to get the cue.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Just then,
Phil, would you turn Paula off now? Okay. All right. Well, I guess you hadn't realized that that was the setup meeting for the thing, the service. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware. My name is Jacqueline Karras, and I'm honored to be your worship associate for today's gathering. For visual accessibility, I'm a white woman with short brown hair, glasses, and wearing a striped top with blue, white, and yellow. I invite you to note your arrival here to this sacred place with a deep, slow breath in and out. Breathing a full, slow breath in and out. And continue as you wish. Here at First U, we strive to foster a culture of belonging, welcoming you because of your unique identity and unique spirituality. Our intention is to create a space of warmth, safety, reflection, continuous learning, and action to uphold the ideals of justice and love. If you are new to First U, welcome, and please fill out the connections card and keep the pen as a gift. Completing the card will facilitate your receiving our newsletter and other information. If you're new online, please click on the link in the chat. Overall, good ways to learn about us is via our website at firstuuwilm.org. Today, our sermon presenter is Reverend Paula Maiorano. Paula, we couldn't help it. Paula is a retired minister and an active member of our church. Thank you for being with us. In this morning's service, Paula will speak about remaining human in the age of artificial intelligence. She will draw from Pope Leo XIV's first encyclical. So in thinking about this sermon, I thought back to when I presented in June and technology involved with that. And as I was preparing and writing, I want you to know I did use Google. I did try out AI. And with Google, I found supporting articles and research helpful. And then when I was connected to AI's writing, an interesting thing happened. I read it, and I said to myself, you know what, that doesn't sound like me. And I abandoned it with this really good feeling. It was comforting to say to myself, my church wants to hear from me. My human, imperfect voice was good enough. This sermon, Paula presents a question to us. How can we tap into the astonishing resources of AI while also honoring human dignity, truth, and peace? Today, our musicians are our music director, Tracy Hall, on keys, and Sarah Collins and Mimi Priest Benedict will lead our hymns. In the AV booth, leading sound, lights, and online streaming is Cinda Crane, Phil Crape, Stephanie Cloud, and Mitch Weiss. Now, will you help me welcome all those joining online by turning to the camera on your left and sharing a friendly wave? And following, please take a little time to greet your neighbors here in the church. No, yay! Can't get enough of that. You'll be on, don't worry. And now, let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship.
How beautiful, Tracy. So good morning, everyone. As Jacqueline said, I'm Reverend Paula Maiorano, a white woman with white hair, brown eyes with glasses, and wearing a black jersey with a pewter chalice necklace around my neck showing on the black jersey. I've returned to retirement again for the fourth time after a year of ministry service with our congregation in Newark. It's good to be home. Not only is it good to be back again as a guest speaker in my home congregation, but really, it's good to be with you this morning. It feels just right. I brought opening words from Allison Wohler. With thankful hearts, we have come together this morning to celebrate the bounty of the day, to bask in the warmth of this community, to share with friends the tides of our lives, to entertain perennially our hopes for a better future. We join together this morning, as always, to resist injustice and inequality wherever they may be found. Our hearts are touched by the human need we feel around us, whether far away or within reach of our hand. We come here to be together because this is how we believe our lives are best lived: in questioning and in conversation, in compassion and in service, in gratitude and in joy, in companionship and in love. It is good to be together with you this morning.
If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to join us by lighting it while I read adapted words from Reverend Gretchen Haley. Whatever you have come in anticipating, whatever you expect or worry for our world, for our future, for our lives, let it go. Just for now, let it go. Make space in your heart and in your soul. Let astonishment be possible at this life that remains a miracle. Imagine here the bursting of joy, relentless and resilient, coming in waves, washing over us with music and story and silence. And this time together, let it be hope for each other and courage to believe in this new day. Come, let us worship together. And now, would you please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn 114? It's Forward Through the Ages. And please remain standing afterwards for the unison affirmation.
Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirit
now please join me in affirming our mission. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a beloved community that nourishes minds and spirits, fights injustice, and transforms the world through loving action.
This meditative prayer comes from something you may have seen, a little box of cards that have something that you can pull out every night before you go to sleep or every morning when you get up, and each card has a prayer on it. It was one of my goodbye gifts from the Newark congregation, and I love this one by Phyllis Collier. Let me find grace in the real world, release in the world of my imagination, and joy in both. Help me to notice the lessons in our world. The turtle to remind me to slow down. The peach and the lilac to remind me of what in life is sweet. The charred piece of driftwood to remind me that I too have been through the fire. The tall yarrow alongside the road, bending in the wind to remind me that I may be bent, but not broken. The newborn child to remind me that wonder and trust are the hope of the future. Let us take a moment of silence before we move into the prayers of the people. May it be so. I always liked when Reverend Larry came down to connect because it made him so much part of prayers of the people. So I have decided to copy him. And so we'll start here with perhaps in the last week or ones you've been carrying for a long time. You have sorrows that you would like to share with the people. In the middle, is there anyone who has a sharing? Oh, a diagnosis of pancreatic and liver cancer for whom? A friend of yours, Art. I'm sorry. I saw a hand over here. It sure does. Oh, sorry. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? The fires. Yeah, the earth is burning. Oh, a young teenager dealing with an estranged mother. Always difficult. And joys. How about since I'm here, I start right here with joys. Well, that's important. A healthy 4, right? Oh, that's wonderful. Izzy comes home for a night. Yes. I thought maybe you'd watch it, but on YouTube. It's great you're here. Any other joys here? Pools in the hot weather. And how about here? A new great niece. Oh, I'm still working on greats. This is great. She's great. Anyone else? It is great. You have one? Giovanni is joyful for his wife in retirement. I'm with you, pal. Anyone? Doyle?
I have many relatives in Spokane, Washington, and the joy is that none of their houses have burned, even though over 700 houses have burned. And some of their houses have been damaged, but they're all safe. I'm glad about that.
That is so wonderful.
I got my old job back, which means I get a new chance to feel successful, hopefully.
More successful and hopefully health insurance.
I'm just grateful that Todd Newman is here among us, despite having open heart surgery.
For these joys, for which we are all so thankful, and the sorrows that we carry, both spoken and held close in our hearts and not shared. We hold our community close and connect with them through what has been shared and through our human experience, in which we all face joys and sorrows. It's our human condition. But I think, there we are. Not sure what that's about, but I do want to say our human condition is one of the reasons I think that we gather for connection, for meaning, for joy, and for comfort in times of sorrow. We have in our hymnal number 6, just as long as I have breath. And we will be led by Sarah Collins in singing, and of course our Tracy on the piano. Before I offer my reflection, I just do want to mention, in light of the situation in the Northwest, that on Netflix, Pan Am, the story of the crash. It wasn't a crash; it was a bomb that devastated the Pan Am flight in the 80s. Is really quite good. And what I didn't know in watching it is that not only did we lose the people who were on the plane, but there were many people who died in the blaze of their house in Lockerbie. And that is one of the reasons we gather in community to raise our voices for justice, which will bring peace. As for my reflection, some know, most don't, that my youngest sister Kathy died on May 8th this past spring. Unlike me, Kathy remained a Roman Catholic and was a pillar of her church in Elkton, Maryland. She was also deeply engaged in social outreach, prayer, and theological reflection. She and I had many conversations in which we shared our different spiritual approaches, which somehow led to many shared social concerns, justice issues, and to a feeling of union with all. The all she named God, and I, the mystery beyond all knowing. On May 23rd, the Vatican published Pope Leo's first encyclical. Kathy and I, of course, could not reflect on it together. So I chose to do a reflective sermon. And so I did, and here it is. Some of us speak easily about God. Others speak more readily of love, truth, conscience, justice, or the sacred depth of life. Still others are unsure what language they can honestly use at all. Yet beneath these different vocabularies lies a shared human question. What is it that calls us beyond selfishness, beyond fear, beyond the worship of power, and toward compassion, responsibility, and hope? In that sense, the word God need not be heard only as the name of a distant ruler in the sky. It can also point to the deepest source of meaning, the holy mystery at the heart of life, the love that binds us all one to another, and the claim that every human being possesses an irreducible dignity, as in our first principle. That is why Leo XIV in Magnifica Humanitas speaks so urgently about safeguarding the human person in a time shaped by artificial intelligence. And that is why I'm sharing my thoughts with you. We, as you use, find inspiration from sources of love wherever we can. Leo reminds his church and the world that technology is never the measure of our worth. The human person is. The encyclical asks not only what our tools can do, but what kind of people we are becoming as we use them. The encyclical, calls us to resist any system that reduces persons to data, productivity, or utility, and instead to build a society grounded in truth, solidarity, justice, and the common good. Now, Leo is not opposed to AI. In fact, I think he had the founder of Claude. Who's the founder that has the Claude? Anthropic. I think he had the founder of Anthropic on his papal platform after the encyclical was written. However, for those who of us who don't use God language, his words may still sound deeply familiar to us. It is the claim that life is not empty, that persons are not disposable, and that love and moral responsibility are more real than efficiency or control. In that conviction, the language of faith, we may already be touching the sacred mystery that gives life its deepest meaning. The title itself is worth hearing slowly. Magnifica Humanitas. Or perhaps its direct translation, Magnificent Humanity. The grandeur of the human person is another way. It's a beautiful and demanding phrase. It tells us that this encyclical is really not about machines, it's about us. And he did address it to Catholics, Christians, and all people of goodwill. So if you think you're a person of goodwill, this encyclical was addressed to you. The encyclical is about what kind of people we are becoming in a world increasingly shaped by systems, screens, speed, and calculation. Leo is asking a question that is older than computers and newer than tomorrow's headlines. What must never be lost if we are to remain truly human? To answer that question, the encyclical places before us two biblical analogies. And here's my sharing, as Jacqueline shared. I went to, if you have Word, you get something where you can use AI to write if you want. And I did put in the two analogies to help me remember exactly what they were about. So the first is the Tower of Babel. It's the story from Genesis. Human beings decide to build a tower reaching to heaven so that they may make a name for themselves. And in Genesis, this story takes place after Noah's of the ark, sons have been named. It's a story about pride, but it's also a story about misplaced confidence. The people of Babel believe that if they can build high enough, organize efficiently enough, and centralize power successfully enough, they will secure unity, greatness, and safety. I did put it back into my own words. But what they build does not create communion. It creates confusion. Their project promises greatness, but as they try to reach to heaven, the tower falls, and it ends up scattering the very people who sought unity. Leo sees in Babel a warning for our age. The danger is not simply that we have powerful tools. The danger is that we may begin to imagine that power itself can save us. We may begin to think that if our systems are fast enough, our data vast enough, our predictions accurate enough, and our technologies efficient enough, then we will not need wisdom, humility, repentance, or compassion. We may start to confuse control with wisdom, optimization with justice, and connectivity with communion. That's the spiritual danger of Babel. Not technology itself, but the temptation to make human power into our highest good. That's why the second analogy matters so much. Alongside Babel, the encyclical turns to another Jewish scripture, Nehemiah, and the rebuilding of Jerusalem, where the first Jewish temple was destroyed in the Babylonian conquest. Nehemiah does not arrive with the fantasy of domination. He arrives to Jerusalem in grief, prayer, patience, and shared responsibility. He surveys the ruins. He listens. He gathers the people. Families, workers, leaders, and neighbors all take part in the work. The city is rebuilt not through spectacle, but through cooperation, not through self-exaltation, but through covenant, not through one great name, but through many faithful hands. Babel is a monument to human pride. Nehemiah is a witness to communal restoration. And here is the heart of my sermon. The question before us is not whether the future will be technological. Of course, it already is. The deeper question is whether the future will still be human. Will we build a society in which persons are treasured, or one in which persons are measured only by usefulness or similarity? Will we remember that each life bears a dignity that cannot be priced, ranked, automated, or discarded? Or will we allow the logic of productivity, surveillance, and control to become the measure of everything? Pope Leo XIV insists that the human person must remain the center of moral discernment. Technology must serve humanity. Humanity must never be reduced to serving technology. And I'm speaking about this encyclical because I totally agree with him. And I was feeling very confident that you would too. That conviction touches every part of life. It touches truth because a society cannot flourish if lies spread faster than wisdom, if images are manipulated more easily than reality is honored, or if public speech becomes so fractured that people can no longer deliberate together. Now, I, for one, got, I don't know the right word, maybe taken in, that's as good a word as any, by one of those fake ads that offered something that might be helpful to people with dementia, and I sent it on to my friend whose spouse is in early decline with dementia, and the answer was, "How could you send me this?" Well, did I feel like a fool? But I believed it. It was such a real thing. So even people who think of themselves as pretty discerning of fakes get taken in. And this is not how it should be. No wonder we can no longer deliberate together. The conviction that humanity must be served by technology touches work because labor is not merely a commodity to be optimized, but a dimension of vocation, dignity, and participation in the common good. It touches freedom because conveniences that promise ease can quietly become structures of dependency, manipulation, and exclusion. The encyclical warning is therefore not abstract. It is about classrooms and workplaces, families and democracies, imagination and conscience. And perhaps nowhere is the encyclical more urgent than when it speaks of war. Pope Leo warns that a culture of power can normalize violence so deeply that war begins to seem inevitable, even reasonable, even permanent. But the scriptures never permit us to become comfortable with dehumanization, and neither does our tradition, once rooted in scripture and now rooted in love. And so the Pope speaks with usual force about weapons, artificial intelligence, and the moral peril of surrendering human judgment to systems of calculation. No algorithm can bear a conscience. No machine can carry mercy. No automated process can take the place of moral responsibility. The more powerful our tools become, and they are so powerful, the more necessary is it that conscience, restraint, and reverence for life become stronger, not weaker. Now, I don't know what AI exactly, well, I know what it is, but I don't know exactly how it works. But I have reflected on what does faithfulness look like in such a time as this. It begins, I think, with things that most of you sitting here have already started. Holy resistance. It means refusing to speak of people as if they or we were only numbers, markets, categories, or outputs. It means asking who is excluded when efficiency is praised. Excuse me. Who is burdened? One more. I see you smiling. You were up here last week. You probably need the drink I just took. It was great. By the way, I really enjoyed it. So it also means asking who is burdened when convenience is marketed, and who is forgotten when innovation is celebrated. It means teaching our children not only how to use tools, I got it, but how to question them. Yes, Susan, who has children, is shaking her head yes. How to question them. If we have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, or great-great-grandchildren, we can help parents do that work. It also means defending silence, prayer, contemplation, and face-to-face presence in a world that profits from distraction. It means remembering that our worth does not come from performance, visibility, or utility, but from the dignity bestowed upon us by creation and confirmed by love. This is where the language of faith becomes indispensable. For if human beings are only clever animals or advanced processors of information, then sooner or later, efficiency will outrank compassion. But if the human person is a creature of immeasurable worth, made for truth, relationship, freedom, and companion, then every social system, every economy, every institution, and every technology must be judged by whether it honors that truth. That is what makes this encyclical more than a policy document. It is a summons to conversion to love. It asks us to examine not only the tools in our hands, but the love in our hearts. Are we building Babel, or are we rebuilding a home for humanity? So let us hear Magnifica Humanitas, not as a fearful rejection of the modern world, but as a call to inhabit it more faithfully. Let us use every good gift of intelligence with humility. Let us build for the common good rather than for domination. Let us protect truth, honor labor, defend freedom, and refuse the normalization of war. Amen is right. Let's remember the poor, which we do, the vulnerable, and the voiceless whenever decisions are made. We do here, I believe, as a beloved community most of the time, but I'm speaking to you as individuals as well. And above all, let us remain profoundly human, building and using AI only for the benefit of humanity. It can truly benefit us. That's what is so wonderful about AI. And when we use it only for benefit, we do more than preserve our dignity. We make room for grace. We make room for one another. And we make room for a love that is divine to dwell in the human heart. Amen. Namaste. So be it.
Hello, 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 hello. It's attached to my cheek. Okay, hello. That one doesn't work. Does this one work? Hello, it does. There we go. Okay, sorry for that. Paula, that was just so wonderful. It's as if you took, well, you did. It's not as if you took a very complicated subject and just brought it down to, like a guideline. I feel like this guideline of just focusing on human dignity and acceptance. Rather than, going for the speed or the efficiency, leaning more into love. And I also really appreciate how you pulled from various sources. And that's what we're all about, aren't we? That's the beauty of this faith, is our curiosity and to pull, to be open. So to hear from Pope Leo's encyclical. Did I say that right? Encyclical. So thank you. Thank you so much. I also was thinking, as I was preparing for the service, I was thinking about how I balance my use of technology with my time in human interaction. Fortunately, our church provides many opportunities for human connection. And what's wonderful is it's not just hanging out. There's a depth to it. There's a purpose, a learning, a healthy activity. It's just so great. I was talking with a visitor recently, and someone who had come for the first time, and it was so enjoyable and meaningful. And she said to me, her eyes got kind of wide, and she said, "You have an abundance of interesting activities." I said, "Yeah, you're right." So, and a vibrant example of that is the activities offered at our adult summer camp coming in a week. I'm looking for my folder. Here it is. So I believe there's more around, but if you haven't seen this, I'll give you mine. But I do believe there's some in the back. And also in a week, we will be graced with the presence of our new minister, Reverend Monica. So in just a week. In order that this church can continue to make a positive, peaceful difference in our lives and in our world, please consider an offering this morning as you are able. During the upcoming music, there will be a slide showing how to make that gift, from putting your cash or check in the offering plate, mailing, using the app, or contributing via the website. As I invite the ushers to come forward, please join me in dedicating our offering to the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action. We dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. So beautiful, thank you. If you've lit a chalice at home, please join us in extinguishing it now as I read these words adapted by Reverend Michelle Collins. While our chalice flame is extinguished, its work continues in our small acts, in our willingness to begin again, and in the way we love each other into courage. May we choose to take another step, even when we cannot see the entire way.
I'm kind of known for my benediction. If you are centered in love and feel loved and surrounded by love, then the words of Julian of Norwich apply. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. Be blessed. Be peaceful. Be loving. And come back next week. Our world is one world is our closing hymn. And it speaks to what I believe everyone feels in our heart.
Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rain that falls. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make a bridge for all. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who